Good evening. This is the voice of Aggroed. It is October 9th in 2020, and I'm really excited to go do another AMA with the Splinterlands crew. It's exciting to be here. I see a couple of the guys from the team here, and I see a whole bunch of some players here. Um, and honestly, we're just here to answer questions. We rotate when these will be, so I'm going to say this at the beginning this time because I'm actually prepared for this. Next one's is a week from today on the 16th. We're going to do this at 9 a.m. I have to have that time scheduled, so now it's early in the recording that we're going to go do this at 9 a.m. Probably some updates, just some general updates that you guys might want to hear. Some of this is built around the hard fork. So the hard fork was supposed to happen on the 6th. It got pushed back to the 8th, and then it got pushed back even further. And since we don't want to go bring players here and have them have a bad experience because of like a non-functioning chain, we decided to go push back the big engagement thing. So it's going to be, it's supposed to be the 12th, but we are pushing it back, I think, to the 19th. So if there's more delays on the Hive side, then there's going to be more delays for our big announcement kind of thing. This is a little bit outside of our control, but we don't want to just invite people here to then be like, well, thanks for coming, but the chain doesn't operate right now. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. Byzantinist. He's asking, why does a hard fork keep getting delayed? Makes people wonder about the competency of the Hive blockchain and what is causing these issues. Looks like Cryptomancer might be answering. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't gone perfectly smoothly. It may not continue. There's been some technical glitches, and there's one of the challenges is that whenever you have a technical glitch, you're going to have to replay, and then you can only figure out if it works after the replay. And for RPCs, the full nodes that run on the whole blockchain here, those things take like 4 days to go. So some of it is a little bit of poor planning. Some of it is, just trickiness of blockchain. I can tell you, blockchain is hard. What we do around here is actually extremely challenging. I know sometimes some of you will think, well, you guys look like idiots when you're doing it. I'd like to think that we do better than that. But some people that have been in the space a little longer and have actually tried this stuff or try to develop projects, they know just how challenging this stuff can be. So this has been really hard. Okay, so I can't tell you. We pushed it back a week. Hopefully that's enough. It's not our intention to permanently move this thing back. The contract is signed. We talked to our partners. We told them about the hard fork, and they said, okay, it makes sense to push this back. So we're on good terms. It wasn't like a ruined Christmas kind of thing. It's just we're going to push it back a week. And honestly, that should work out pretty well because hopefully sometime next week, the land sale stuff is going to be on the site. So when we start dragging all these people here, the timing will be pretty good of what's this land thing that we can do? So we're not going to sell the land next week. That's going to be a few weeks out, but it's going to be on the site. So that's one thing. What else have we been doing? There's just like a million things. Cryptomancer, do you want to talk at all about finishing up on the phase 4 and what that looks like? Do you feel like sharing that? Oh, he might be a little fake news. I put him on the spot. It's okay. The new player onboarding was set to go live when we this week. Yeah. So Cryptomancer is willing to give a phase 4 update. So. Oh, I guess I have to unmute you. That's the challenge. So I unmuted you. You have the ability to speak now. You there?
Hi, guys. So, collection power phase 4. All right, so that's the last bit of work we have to do to finish up collection power. After that, it'll be done for the time being, and we'll be moving on to other things. And phase 4 is basically adding an optional collection power entry requirement for tournaments. So when tournament creators go to create their tournaments, they have all the different options for how to set it up. And one of those options will be, do you want there to be a minimum collection power entry requirement? And they'll be able to set that number to anything they want to, any number. Or they could set it to, say, one of the existing league presets that we have now. And for this entry requirement, it'll be calculated a little bit differently than the standard collection power. So normally collection power, as you know, is just the DEC burn value of all the cards that are playable in your collection. For entering into tournaments, it will be all the cards in your collection that are eligible to be used in that tournament. So if you're entering into a gold foil tournament, then only gold foil cards will count for the collection power entry requirement. If there's no legendary cards allowed, then legendary cards won't count towards the collection power requirement. So I think that makes a lot of
There's
sense.
a question for you. Does it check at the time of sign up, at the start of the tournament, or both?
It will do both. So when you sign up, if you don't meet the requirement, it won't let you in. If you sign up and you meet the requirement and you get into the tournament, and then say you sell a bunch of cards or you delegate them or whatever, and your collection power goes down, then when the tournament starts, it's going to check the requirement again. And if you don't meet it, it won't let you participate in the tournament. So you have to meet the requirement both when you enter and when the tournament starts.
Okay.
And development on this is finished. It's been tested. We're basically just waiting for Yabatmat to release it right now.
Yeah. So pretty awesome. So I think that's good for a quick developer update there. I thought you guys would like to hear that. We're pretty close to getting this stuff live. I think right now, even though the hard fork is delayed, we're kind of waiting on hard fork things. This stuff. I can't tell you like how many gray hairs we're giving Matt. He just goes a little ballistic with all the stuff that's going on, and every time that the game gets bigger, the hairs get grayer. So that's coded and good to go. I'm pretty certain that even if it's not ready right now, the goal was to have the new player tutorial experience ready by the 12th. Because a hard fork got pushed back, I don't know if that'll be ready exactly on the 12th, but the plan should be to get both the Phase 4 live and get the new player tutorial experience live, hopefully this coming week. We always got to put an asterisk on that of that's the plan, but it's not the promise, because development is not, just a simple plug and chug and it always works. There can be bugs and other problems. So that's the intention. Whether or not we actually meet that exact intention, I don't know, but that's at least right now the plan, and we'll see what the blockchain throws at us, because it's not always in our control. Okay, so that's collection power phase 4. That's in terms of what we're developing next, we're really starting to get into guild tournaments. So those things are getting actively worked on. So that I think is pretty exciting. In parallel with that is prepping the site for the land presale. So land will be on the website. I think in the next 2 weeks here, hopefully in the first week. Yeah, that is totally what it's going to look like. Yeah, so land should be on the website, hopefully next week. It might be in the next 2 weeks. Again, hard fork being hard fork can mess with us. But the purchase of the land won't go live yet, but we should get a post out here pretty soon. We have some beautiful art that we want to talk through and show you guys kind of what the plan is for land and what we're announcing. And then it you'll have kind of a couple weeks to get used to this, and then from there, um, there's not any plans for airdrops for the land sale, so not on this one. Um, I don't have a mask on. The it should be, my voice should be pretty clear. If there are troubles, then you guys can let me know that. Um, Anyways, guild tournaments are like literally being actively developed. The land pre-sale is getting set to go live. Posts about that should be coming out. And again, we're now navigating a tricky hard fork situation, but our intention is to, yeah, I'm in a slightly echoey room, so that's actually fair. That's actually what this room is. um, so that there, I think that's a pretty good sense of our development roadmap. People were asking about the mobile. Mobile's a little bit in the same circumstance. It's not quite as bad. The two things that are really being actively developed are the tournament screens and getting it live for the Android Play Store or the Google Play Store and iOS. We rushed out a slightly different development schedule, so we're a little bit behind on where we want to be with those. And now the hard fork is here, so that's causing a little bit more delay. But we are getting pretty damn close to the Google Play Store launch. So I can't give you an exact date, but we're getting much closer. And part of that is getting tournaments in. That's kind of like the two projects in parallel are getting tournaments up and getting the mobile app ready. All right, I'm seeing a question from Cryptomancer. For the land pre-sale, if you purchase an amount that is not an exact multiple of a discount option, do you get the discount for the full amount? For example, I think with the discount, it's 7.5 million for 1,000 plot sector, but if somebody wanted to spend 10 million, would they get the full discount on the entire 10 million? I think the answer is no. I think it's exactly I think you're buying one token, and that token is a 7.5 million DEC purchase, and I don't think that we're selling that as like partials, but some of that is a game time decision, and that's usually just Matt's call. But as we've discussed it, that's what that looks like. Can you talk about the Arc.io Market Square IO partnership? I'm not involved in that. That's like one of the few things that I haven't put my little tendrils into, so I don't know too much about it. But I think that's, it's good to go get more of these marketplace kind of things going. Will there be new cards as prizes for Guild Wars, or will the prizes be DEC only? They're not quite cards. What we're looking to do right now, and again, this is TBD. So if things change, don't murder me. I'm just trying to give you the latest sense, and I'm giving the best caveat I can that it's going to change. Things are in motion and in progress, and all of crafting isn't developed yet. I know it's not like fully agreed upon, but part of what we're thinking is that the prizes for the Guild Wars and the Guild tournaments will be kind of like items or enhancements to your land or your buildings. So as your buildings, your buildings can basically get some equipment that'll be part of them, and so you'll very likely, again, this hasn't been fully decided, you're very likely to go put some summoners into position, some monsters into position, and then there'll be kind of like semi-permanent enhancements depending on what items you have in there. And the plan is that either the items themselves or plans for items themselves will be available through Guild Wars in guild shops and maybe in kind of like boss fight drops. So it won't be DEC directly, and it won't be items and spell cards, we don't think. It's more likely to be kind of this middle ground where it's like, here you're going to get a fountain, and that fountain will do plus 2% to resource harvesting a certain thing. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a sense. Isn't it a currency with a shop? So we still need a better name than this, but internally we keep calling it guild faction points. So when you fight in the guild wars, you and your guild will be earning some guild faction points. How exactly that's distributed is still TBD. But we're building a shop that you can improve as a guild, and then through your guild shop, you'll be able to go purchase more and more like better items as the guild hall improves. And one of the first uses for the guild tokens will be kind of the earlier stage buildings. We're planning on allowing players to go purchase with credits and with dark energy crystals. But the later stage buildings, we're currently planning on having you be forced to upgrade using guild faction points. So the credits and DEC can only get you so far. After that, collectively, you guys gotta grind it out, and we won't let you earn them a different way. So that's again, all that kind of stuff is TBD. So there that is. Can you mix and match those land pre-sale tokens in whatever amounts you want? So could you make one single pre-sale purchase to get a 1 sector token, 2 zone tokens, and 30 individual plot tokens? I don't know exactly how Matt has that set up. But if you go like above the discount, I don't think that you're going to get. I think we're going to sell the individual ones for like, if you're buying a sector, the sector will be a single token for 7,500, or not 7,500, 7.5 million DEC. And that's just what that will cost. So the discount will like be built into what you're buying. So I don't know if you can buy them all at once or if you have to do that in separate transactions. But my current belief is that doing multiple stuff isn't going to get you crazy discounts. It'll be it's the individual sectors and zones or whatever we end up calling those. Question: with creating cards, how creative will we be able to be on these cards? So you guys are going to mint cards. You're not going to quite create cards. So you're not going to like run out and determine what the Sword of Devastating Death does. That's still going to be up to the game because of game balance. But we're not handing card creation over to the players. We are handing card minting over to the players. So we're still going to determine what cards and what the stats are and what the benefits are. But the minting of them is going to be in players' hands. Nachos is asking, question, can you set up a land token exchanger in Hive Engine once pre-sale is released so that people that wish to split their land into smaller plots can just trade it? Yeah, Matt created tokens on Hive Engine, so I know that they'll be for sale over there. I don't know what decimal points he's allowing, so maybe you can go break up the plots. I don't know exactly what that'll look like. He might have just used whole numbers. So I'm not entirely certain what that looks like. I haven't peeked, but if you go and check the decimal precision, it'll give you a sense of what he has planned. Are GFPs likely to be transferable between players? Gold foil what? Plots? Gold foil plots? Yeah, I mean if you get like a we're not going to do, like, I don't think that there's a thing as gold foil land. I haven't asked that specifically, but I should go. I don't think that we're doing gold foil land. It can be legendary, but I don't think it's gold foil. All right, just curious on your thoughts on it. Will the land be opened or revealed similar to how the packs are open now with an RNG so you can get common, rare, epic, legend land? Also, will there be gold foil versions? So yeah, it's almost exactly the same. Instead of having, the claims that you are purchasing are going to reveal a single card. So when you buy packs, they will reveal 5 cards. When you buy land, it will just reveal the one. So that's something that is worth remembering. Yeah, Cryptomancer. That's exactly what is coming into this. Like we want to give players discounts, but we also want to try to keep it simple. So it's more based on like what you're purchasing than what you're spending, which might be a little weird, but some of that is just to keep this thing simple. So we're not trying to like calculate percents of a percent while doing bonus land. That's too much. How many land toshis make a plot? Your face is a land toshi. Was the price of one plot mentioned? Yeah, full retail for. Well, I don't know what the price of the plots will be because plots are revealed, and you guys on markets will set those, not us. When we sell you an unrevealed claim of those that are remaining. For this first go, the target price that we're anticipating is $20 as full retail. It's possible that changes. I don't know. Maybe that price goes up during the pre-sale. I don't think we're going to mess with the first one because Aggie kind of let it out of the bag because he's a bad grode. And it would be kind of havoc if we change it now and we're like, oh, by the way, you need 9 million DEC instead of 7.5. I bet we'd get a lot of angry people. So I don't think that's gonna go. GFP is guild faction points. Oh, okay. I hadn't seen that. So are guild faction points transferable? Currently as designed, no. But that's not a firm decision. We'll have to get closer to when we actually launch it to see what we like more. Gold mines, minting gold cards would be cool. Question, how many of the 100,000 plot expansions will be available for pre-sale? I don't know exactly how Matt's setting that up. So I think what he's doing is that in the first pre-sale, we're planning 40,000 plots. And I think he's got it set up so that different combinations work, but I actually don't know that that's true. So don't hold me to that, and don't beat me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to give you the information that I think that I have and that we've discussed or not discussed, but these are my understandings. But kind of final code implementation and that kind of like granular level of exactly how it works, that's more on like how the code actually functions, and that's more of a Matt call, and that's usually last minute. So I don't know. But I don't think that it's set that way. I don't think it's set as there's precisely 6 of these. I think there's as many as there are until we've sold 40,000 plots, and we're anticipating that most of that will go in the sectors, but we'll find out. Question, can I buy land alchemy and land legendary potions? I don't believe so. I don't think that we're doing that this time around. Question, do you anticipate gold foil cards to produce gold bonuses or gold foil types of potions while working on the land? Gold foil is still I don't, we've talked about it, but that one is a little bit contentious still, so I don't want to go share anything at this point about gold foil stuff. Like that's land related. We know that you guys have to be able to create gold foil items and spells, and that they will be part of the game. How that will work is a bit more on the crafting side than the land side, and so we got to get further into the crafting side before I even want to start dancing with those kinds of questions. Do you anticipate gold foil cards to produce bonuses or gold foil types of potions while working on the land? Do you anticipate gold foil cards to produce bonuses? Yeah, so if you guys have gold foil summoners and monsters, I think that the plan should be that gold foils and alphas and at some point betas will get a boost, and those kinds of cards will get bonuses compared to the current editions. So it's not really like alpha and beta specifically. The criteria is more like are these things currently sold or previously sold? The previous editions will get non-combat bonuses. So like we don't want to break it so that your untamed cards are useless because the fighting is so much better for alpha or beta, or vice versa, where like why would you own alpha and beta? We're going to screw all the old investors and make the current deck way more powerful. We don't want to do stuff like that. So, but what things that are non-combat related, like performance while mining, or performance while crafting, or performance while storing or transporting, those kinds of things are great bonuses because they help you, but they don't break the game. So those are the kind of things that we do like to do, and I'm anticipating. Again, this is a bit more towards crafting, but I do think that the current plan for harvesting, crafting, storage, transportation is that older cards and foiled cards will get certain bonuses. How much is 7.5 million DEC in US dollars? Well, at the full peg, that would be 7,500. But on the markets, it's what you guys choose to sell them to each other for. If you go check out, I think that we're up to like 0.00088. So we're not quite at the peg. There's still maybe a 12% discount that players are willing to sell their dark energy to relative to the peg. So there's still some stuff there. Is this going to be like an auction, or will it be like PAX dice where there are so many and when they are gone, they are gone? If so, can one person buy all the land? Yeah, I don't know that we're putting strict limits on purchasing. We as a business want to sell these things. So it'll be more like PAX, But fortunately, there's not like an infinite amount of dark energy crystals, and other than the game, there's really not anybody that owns like a monopoly on it. So it seems more likely, especially in the first one, that it will go quickly. We do expect it to sell out, and there's not enough for everyone. So I imagine that there are going to be some people that are angry with us because of that, but we think that the hype is going to be worth it. A couple people are going to not going to be able to get their stuff, and that's the kind of scarcity that we're looking to induce, so that we can plaster everywhere that we sold out and people missed out, and you need to come in and you need to go buy this and you need to get here in the Splinterlands because there's not enough land for everybody. So that's part of the marketing buzz that we need to create. So there might be some angry players that didn't get their first round. There will be a second round, and it's still pretty heavily discounted. But I guess my advice to you is there's not enough for everyone. So especially this first round, you're gonna want to be ready. Question: on a scale of 1 through 10, how much more complicated will the gameplay be after land is implemented? So what Nate has done is fantastic, and what the game design has done, I'm really proud of. When you go and you do an action for combat, on the screen, all you have to do is click a summoner and click a couple monsters and be able to count to like 24. That's all you got to do. That's the gameplay from like a technical what do you have to enter standpoint. But from a strategy standpoint, it's really complicated. And so that's what we like. From a interaction experience, it'll be really similar of, you're going to click through items and spells, and clicking which ones you want should be really freaking simple. But deciding which ones you want should be really complicated, because you have to think through, here's my team, there's the enemy team, this is what I think they're likely to do. So for me to respond, I'm going to do this. But if they anticipate that I'm going to do this, then I should do that. So clearly I can't drink the wine in front of you. All right, double. 2 stages rather than 1 team of submission. Yeah, that's correct. Is each plot of land on a physical map of some sort? When we do the full reveal of the land, we are anticipating that there will be a full map. Maybe not all the features of the map will be unlocked. Like I anticipate at some point transportation will be in the game, but I highly doubt it's going to make it into round 1. But we are anticipating that you could go kind of get like XY coordinates on a map and be like, this is where my plot is. I own this plane and it's over here. And you would know exactly where that is. Question, if Uniswap DEC is going to be the new price point for all DEC, will there be a usable Hive engine market for DEC in the future? Why, it's still usable. I don't know what's not usable. People spent $3,500 trading it back and forth. Will there be a limit as to how many plots a single account can utilize? I think there will be. I think there's going to be some limitations because you're likely to need summoners and monsters to operate the land, and so you might start running out of them if you have like every single plot. So, there's some of that for sure, and we're trying to think through: are there good ways to help players keep producing? But with like gold foils and regular foils and all the various editions, it's quite a large number of plots that you can use right off the bat before you even start thinking about what else do we got to do here. What are your thoughts on how well Uniswap has been going now that it's been a week since the pool was started? Is it progressing more or less as you expected? We're just shy of like $200,000, and the peg keeps creeping up. So, or like the swap ratio, I don't quite know what to call that, but volume seems decent. The peg is rising, or the DEC value is rising. And it's been really stable. I mean, Hive Engine, the markets are thinner, and so they get pushed up and pushed down a lot more easily. This thing has been much more stable, and there's some good stuff to that. So I'm good. Will land presale only accept DEC, or will people be able to use credits or crypto? We won't. I don't know if Matt is accepting crypto directly. I think it's probably still going to be credits. So you'll have to convert your crypto into credits, and you probably want to do that in advance of the land sale. But the whole thing will go live. This is part of why we're putting the whole thing live before the actual land sale happens. So you'll get to see everything prior to purchasing it, what it looks. Jakku, take my money. That's a nice bear. Okay. Can we get animals, critters on our land? You can get monsters on your land. That's one of the resources that will be highly coveted, we imagine. All right, confirmed date for the land presale mentioned. So no, it should be on the website in the next 2 weeks. We should have a post out in the next 2 weeks. So, though, if Hard Fork Madness goes crazy, then don't hate me. We're working with the conditions that we have. I'm hoping that it's earlier than 2 weeks, but if it's Hard Fork land, then it's going to be rough. Second TPV reference in 2 days that I've heard, The Princess Bride. Yeah, it's a great movie. Question, is there going to be a hierarchy to purchase plots, meaning if you purchase 1,000, you get served first, then 100 plots and so on, or do all orders get processed, or do all DEC orders automatically get processed? It's a blockchain, and it's probably going to be first come, first serve, and we anticipate running out. So please push and shove. There's not enough for everyone, and I know that's not super fun for the existing player base. So sorry about that, but this is part of the marketing hype that we want to build for the game. So I don't know. Forgive us. We're not going to go like crazy hardcore in the first pre-sale, trying to like market to everybody and their mother. We're going to kind of reserve that for the second one. So and the third pre-sale that we're planning. So just know that there's a couple other of these. The discount isn't quite as large, but hopefully you guys do have some more information at hand, especially like how did the previous land sales go, so that it's easier to make financial decisions because you'll have more information. If you overcomplicate the game and there's a backlash, will you repeal the changes? I mean, we listen to the audience. I'm not going to say one way or the other. We gauge everything at the time, but I don't know. I mean, I think you guys will be able to go do this. You will be clicking items and spells in addition to clicking summoners and monsters, and I am confident in your ability to click stuff. So, from a technical, how does this operate? It's going to be as simple as everything else. And from a strategy perspective, it's going to add a new layer of depth, and I think you guys will dig it. Is there a digital map that'll show the placement of plots? Not on day one. We imagine it'll be kind of list view and a little bit more simulation-like to begin, and we'll start layering in that kind of like granularity and visualness as time goes on. No, that's not the Pirate Bay. TPB is the Princess Bride. What will happen if DEC value exceeds the peg? I haven't, Matt and I have discussed this before. I've been, I actually don't know. It's been a while since it's happened. My guess is that if the peg gets really high, people start burning cards, and they'll inflate the supply of DEC. And if it keeps going, then I don't know how the game responds right now. I'm pretty okay with a floating DEC price going above. I kind of think of the peg as a minimum, but I don't know that it's coded that way. And I don't know that I have Matt's full consent on that. So we still gotta, that's a little bit to be determined. So first thing is that I think you'll see the end like a genocide of rusty androids would be my first bet of what happens. If you were able to group land together and manage to make it more efficient, for instance, if there is a copper mine land, can a person say manage 10 copper mine plots all together instead of managing each one by one? That's I don't want to get into that level because we still have some designing to do, but yeah, we intend that having your plots geographically located, physically adjacent or nearby each other will provide advantages. Precisely how much and in what form, I can't tell you, but that is our intention. So that's coming. That's a little bit, we're going to take a year to go develop all of the land expansion and how it works. So basically all of 2021, it shouldn't be that, the damn thing rolls out in December of 2021. Hopefully we can start rolling pieces out sooner than that. But, it's not uncommon in blockchain that, the land sale happens and then it's at least a year or more before things start rolling out. We don't have the solidity problems and C++ coding that makes that extremely difficult. So we should be faster than a year, but it's going to take time. And until we really nail down how we want this to look and feel, those kind of things are going to be a little bit determined just later. Will each plot of land be random on the map, and how does that apply to a zone? Is a zone all right next to each other, or do they get placed when opened? Do you open one zone token, or does it split into 100 land plots? Our intention is to go make these things contiguous, meaning that if you buy a sector, you should have 1,000 plots that are all adjacent to each other. Can the price of DEC go above the peg? What's stopping it from going up like any other crypto? I kind of answered this, but I can certainly trade above it. I don't know if Splinterlands will accept above it. Um, and I mean, we will accept it, but I don't know. I think we'll give it credit as higher, but I got to confirm that with Matt. Um, and then what's stopping it from going up is that, all the cards have deck staked into them so that when you melt the cards, you get DEC back. So if DEC starts flying through the roof, then savvy players start going on the market, buying every single inexpensive card, nuking it, and producing DEC out of them. So, so there's some player-driven card nuking inflation that happens if DEC goes way above the peg. You just gotta say goodbye to your friend Rusty. Question: is it possible that you would switch chains again or create your own Hive if Hive keeps updating too frequently or having issues? I mean, it's possible. Matt is not a blockchain developer. He's a web developer, and we don't have like true blockchain developers on staff. So the idea to us of just running our own chain is actually extremely daunting. We have enough challenge meeting all the promises and goals that we have now without actually having to be the sole operators of a chain. And this stuff isn't easy. I know everybody likes to steam it and point it like the current set of witnesses as a bunch of incompetent bastards and they're terrible and they should all be beaten to death or whatever hate is being tossed their way. But this shit is hard. It's really hard. And it would be hard for us to focus on building a great game and also building a great blockchain. There's just not enough hours in the day to really do both with the size of company and with the people that we have on staff. So is it possible? Yes, everything is possible. Blockchain is crazy. There could be another Justin Sun moment and we can have to switch. But we personally are not actively looking to take on blockchain development in-house. Do you know what time this land sale is going live? Yes, I do, but I have not shared it publicly. So, and honestly, it's a little bit of a Matt situation that there'll be a time range when we say this thing is live. Question: for the land presale, will you get the land tokens immediately upon purchase, or will they be delivered later like Kickstarter rewards? So the whole thing will be automatic. It is my understanding that the tokens will be sold at the time of the land presale. It's not promises of future tokens. You will receive them at the time that you buy them. That is my understanding, though Matt's not here to confirm that, and I don't know what the code says directly. So if I'm wrong, don't hate me. But keep in mind, there's going to be at least a couple weeks where the land sale layout will be live on the site before the land sale goes live. There should be a timer. You'll know when this thing is going live, or at least in theory when it's going live, because updates can always be screwy, but there you go. When you buy your plot, do you get the option of placing it on a crafting or gathering area? Are there a minimum number of plots in order to take advantage of a land area? We don't have a minimum number of plots to take advantage of something mechanic built in. Maybe that happens later, but that's not in the current schema. Get the option of placing it on a crafting or gathering area. So all lands in the game will have the ability to craft and harvest and store something. So there's no exception to that. There are lands that will have exclusive rights because of what resources are on the cards to harvest certain resources that other cards cannot. But every single card in the game, maybe I shouldn't say 100%, but the vast majority of cards will have the ability to harvest, store, or craft stuff. So that's the vast majority. Are you going to have a pre-sale for land with the Fiat Kickstarter-like event? No, we're not planning that. Question: will there become more uses for DEC as an ERC20 token, or will most uses be available only in Hive in-game? I imagine that it's only in game, but if we find really good use cases, then maybe we'll do ERC20 stuff. Um, some people in blockchain are like extremely tribal. Matt and I are not. We live on a layer two. Layer twos can interoperate pretty nicely. So wherever we see good fits and where we have a little wiggle room in terms of who's available to do what, we'll do it. We'll go work with other groups. We'll find new use cases. It's like I can't imagine that we keep pushing back everything that we're working on for some things, but there's other communities. There's another pretty big community that we're trying to finalize how we're going to go integrate them and their token. So we're always trying to figure out, like, theoretically, what does it take for us to change focus even for a little bit? At times we do, but it's gotta be big enough that it's worth disrupting our current plans. Crypto Eater. Oh God, I have a bunch of questions and I've never gone to an AMA, so not sure if these have been answered. If DEC goes above the peg, will it still be honored at one or more? I can't promise. I think that's how it works, but we got to confirm that one with Matt. When will the details regarding production bonuses for Alpha Beta Gold cards be released? If I ever give an exact number, Matt drives to my house and he beats me. And he gets angry and he says, why would you do these kind of crazy things? So exact numbers are going to be as late in the decision-making process as possible, until we've worked out every single bug that we can possibly think of, and every single caveat and every single rule and how all these things interact. Only then do we really want to expose actual numbers. That's probably not your favorite answer, but that's going to be the answer that you get. How many cards will be needed to be delegated to each piece of land? Will it be a 1-to-1 ratio? That's not set, and it's possible that it changes as your buildings level. So we'll have to see. That's more of like a crafting question, and it's probably harvesting too, but I'm not ready to answer that. Will max level and single BCX cards have different production levels? Will it be based on BCX or level? I imagine that it'll be based off of level, so that your things like your foil, your addition, and your level should all impact how quickly or how well your land is productive. Given the whole economy is going to be so different with lands coming out, is there any chance to allow us to burn cards? Yeah, you can burn cards whenever you want. The sacrifice of 10% BCX can be reduced with a guild building. I mean, you'll be able to burn cards, but you're not going to be able to burn land. Land is going to be different. Land you'll be able to sell, but you're not actually going to be able to burn land, because it's not like, if you burn a card, it doesn't like change a map or something that everybody relies on. If you burn land, like, what the hell? Where did your volcano go or something? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Are there different types of land? Yes, there's common, rare, epic, and legendary. There's different types or different amounts of bonuses that are available to the land, and there's many different types, and all the different types have slightly different characteristics. Will lands have a coordinate, or will they just be like fungible tokens? We're expecting them. It's probably a little bit of both. At the earliest stages, they're more likely to just be fungible in terms of like where are they in the world. But as we advance and we really like nail down a map and the whole thing is like on the screen, and that's where we want to get. We want to be able to say like your plot is this XY coordinate and in this shape. That's where we want to get to, but I can't promise you exactly what it'll be at what time. Question: if you open a sector token to get a whole continuous chunk of land and then open additional zone or individual plots after that, can that land be added on to your original contiguous chunk, or would they be randomly sprinkled around the map elsewhere? Not entirely clear. That's a great question. We kind of have to see what the capabilities of our map tool are. I mean, if it involves Matt sitting there for 16 hours trying to place one tile at a time, that's probably not going to work. But if we can figure out a trick to make that smooth, then that would be the intention. So that's still too early to know. It would be best if they're all together, but I can't promise anything outside of one sector or one zone is going to be contiguous. Question: we have trailer park meth labs on our land and get our opponent monsters addicted to smack. Chico, this is a recorded call. Try to have a little more class, please. All right, question. When you say each card can harvest, craft, or store something, did you mean it's up to the player to decide which one of the three? So can a player switch later on to another choice? Yeah, it was really important to us that every single piece of land had the ability to harvest something. Crafting, you won't be able to craft everything or store everything. Different lands are going to have kind of tweaked abilities, but there's always like rarer exceptions. But the goal, the primary goal is to make it so nearly all the land will be able to harvest something, craft something, and or store something, and you can choose one of those. Oh, it just kicked me back. Hold on, I gotta scroll through a bunch of this again. Sorry, guys. Question: from what I understand, there is no burn value attached to the land. In that case, will there be an official channel for land to be sold on the Splinterlands marketplace? Or will that need to be done via private sales? I'm asking this because there needs to be a way for players to leave the game and be able to sell their land. Yeah, you can sell the land. That's certainly part of the secondary market that we'll build in. You just can't burn a card for DEC. That you just because it'll be like on a physical planet place somewhere. It's not like you can burn Boston and have it just evaporate from the game. You know, it's got to be there. Off topic, are there any big tournaments planned before the end of the year, like a championship tournament with larger than normal prize pool? I haven't really thought through tournament stuff just because there's so much havoc going on with this stupid hard fork. But you know, I know that we're missing a bunch of days, so we're kind of accumulating some prize pool money to go toss around. So I have in mind something. I don't know exactly what it'll be, and I won't until we're past the hard fork. Okay. Will crafting cards have any caps? That's to be determined. Probably not, but we'll see. Question 5. Given the whole economy is going to be different with land coming out, is there any chance to allow us to, uncombined cards? Uncombined cards. No, we're not. I can't tell you no 100%, but I am strongly against any way to uncombine cards. That is a one-way valve. How does Uniswap determine the price going up or down, aka the value of DEC going up or down? That's a better question for the hardcore Ethereum guys. You know, basically it's just on, are you buying more or selling more out of that pool? Question: since people will be spending a lot of money on this, will zones and sectors be guaranteed a certain amount of rarities? For instance, would a zone be guaranteed at least one legendary? It could get more, but at minimum guaranteed, like with the airdrops now. I don't know what Matt has planned for that. I don't know. It's probably full random, but I don't know. Question: are rarity levels of land going to follow the same probabilities as cards? It won't work exactly the same way. I don't know. It's kind of tough to answer that without showing everything. So it has some of the same intentions, but it's not going to be the exact same percent. Work better for retail if they are scattered. For example, someone wants to buy land around them, but we use this Uniswap thing to determine the values of DEC. and we can't even explain why and how it's going up or down. No, Jarvie, I told you it depends on, if more people are buying DEC than are using the swap to get Ethereum, then the prices change. It's not magic. It's based off the ratios. But there's math and curves that are involved in that, and rather than like read the Uniswap white paper in the last 5 minutes of this thing, I guess I'd suggest check that out. Yeah, I mean there's an equation that governs that, and it's actually relatively simple, so that most people should be able to look at that equation and have some idea of how it operates. I just don't have it handy. But it's about the ratio. The more of one that gets taken out of the pool, it changes the price of the other, because it's always trying to maintain this ratio of prices. So if they're whatever, that's good enough for now. Wouldn't it be easier to link cards collection power to its usability on land instead of card levels and rarity? I don't know how to answer that. Uniswap just makes two sides of the pool. Well, if these are more ETH in the pool, then DEC is more expensive. Tries for balance. What is parity when ETH equals DEC? What is the price of DEC? It has to go. It's not the exact numbers though, right? Because like Ethereum is worth hundreds of dollars and DEC is worth fractions of a cent. So it's not equal numbers. It's about the sort of ratio of these things. Will crafting cards be permanent and single use? Crafting cards, if you craft a card, we expect them to be permanent and we don't expect them to be single use. If we're using this as an integral part of the entire market, we need to at least link to something someone can read. Okay, well, we can look into that after hard fork time. If you buy more DEC from the open market, then the price will go up. Neil can go prepare this stuff unofficially. And we're running out of time here, and it's like 10 p.m. on a Friday, so we're gonna try to wrap up. If there's a couple more questions, I can answer them. Question: can a card be used in the quests and also for lands at the same time, or will there be a cooldown period? Exactly how land will induce cooldowns on monsters is to be determined, but there's likely going to be one when transferring, so that's something to note. Question: does Splinterlands send out questionnaires to new players after they join the game after a certain period to get relevant feedback? If not, would this be a viable option? We send them emails now to help them onboard, but we don't send them questionnaires. So I don't know, maybe that's something that we'll add, but the marketing team is pretty hard at work at getting Digicon up and running. So until the first Digicon happens, I doubt that the emails will be the next piece. Card spells items are permanent. Won't the market eventually get flooded since they are constantly being produced in renewable resources? There are some limitations for the entire economy, which I'm not going to go into, but there are some theoretical limitations that are beyond just how many of the simple sword of cat bashing can you create. Don't hurt cats, people. It's just a joke. Cats are beautiful. Crypt Keeper. Do potion spells, crafts, is there planned to be able to be used in, say, just tournaments, just Guild Wars, or season match play? No, the items and spells should be like across the board usage. So we'll see that. All right, it's 10 p.m. Shouldn't consumable items be for PvE? When PVE is set. We want to get boss fights. We got to go finish up guild tournaments. Guild tournaments comes first because the guild tournament system and the anytime tournament system have a lot of similarities. So that one is lower hanging fruit. So we want to get that one launched first. But boss fights will be a thing. Whether we make it by the end of the year, I don't know. We do want to try to get at least like one example fight out, so it's probably not entirely fleshed out, but I know that Randolph is going to choke me if I don't get a boss fight for him out quickly. So we do want to get, maybe not all of them, but maybe there's a chance we get one out. But we got basically 3 months left and a bunch of holidays in there too, so we're getting pretty tight on time, but I don't know. That's what we're going after. All right, guys. Well, there's a lot going on. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you other than this is just, sorry for the noise. It's just freaking crazy. It is just crazy to try to do all this stuff simultaneously. We're doing the best we can. We work our tails off. I can't tell you just how stressed Matt is all the time. It's amazing that he functions as a human. So I'm pretty excited. I'm excited about what we're doing. It's gonna be good. I'm really excited. It's hard for me to express. I'm not gonna take any more questions, but I'm gonna go. I want to share this. It's hard for me to express just how cool I think that lands are. And the reason why I get really passionate and excited about them is that never in my gaming years did companies like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering look at me and say, you know what, why don't you guys mint these cards? I think that this is really a first for the experience here. In these trading card games for the company that's kind of printing the game, to hand something that critical to the ecosystem over to the players, I think this thing is really novel. I'm super proud of it. I like what we're building. I geek out about it. I spend hours talking to people about it, and I think that there's, I think it's just a new experience that hasn't really been there before, and I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed developing this and talking through it and trying to figure out how we do this without breaking the game and just keeping it as exciting and interesting as possible. So I'm stoked for Land. I'm as stoked for Land as anything else, although to be honest, I'm also really excited for Guild Wars because guild competition is awesome. So these things are happening. They're coming together. We're finally getting out of some of the backlog of stuff that we've been promising that we're gonna release. We're like moving out of collection power, which was a giant U-turn for us. But now that is nearly done, and we can get back to some of the core promises that we've been making. And I'm feeling good about delivering them, doing our best to get stuff out by the end of the year on multiple fronts. In the next couple of weeks, you should be able to see some Land pieces and kind of get some more sense of what it'll look like and how it'll work and how the pre-sale will work. So there should be more details, if not a week from today, then certainly by 2 weeks from today. And again, it's kind of hard fork dependent because the hard fork is messing with us, and we're just doing the best to navigate that as we go. But gotta tell you, I say this every week, but I get honestly, I get a little choked up at times when I look at how our players treat new players. So just how you guys interact and how you guys welcome new people and how you make this a fun place to be. You guys have set a really wonderful culture, and I'm proud to be part of this group. I'm happy and proud to spread this Discord and tell people about it and just share our community. You guys are awesome. I know that some of you really drive me nuts, and you drive each other nuts, but as a group and as a whole, I got to tell you, it really makes a difference for how I think about this group and how we can talk about ourselves and how we promote ourselves. And with some hope, there's going to be a bunch of new faces around here in the not too distant future. And it's our goal as a community to keep that welcome spirit, to keep that kindness, to allow different perspectives and allow people to communicate, but also try to be respectful when communicating. So I just want to say thank you. It's a pleasure to be kind of at the helm of this thing. I'm doing my best to navigate the ship with Matt and make the best decisions we can, and we're always thinking, how do we provide as much value for the players as possible. And we don't get everything right, but we do our best, and we trust in this community because you guys are absolutely awesome, and it's a blessing. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully you enjoy a fantastic weekend. Hopefully we go through this. Hopefully we get through this hard fork without too many, bumps and bruises. And after that, we start getting into big marketing partnerships. So it should be fun. We're pretty well set up for it as best as we can be. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying the more recent ride of how things are going around here. And hopefully you're looking forward to land, spread it to the world, because we want this to be a big event. And it should be. So thank you, everybody. Really excited. Have a wonderful evening. And it's an absolute pleasure to serve. I hope you guys just stay awesome. Thanks, guys.